Good evening, Nottingham. I'd like to open up the September 22nd, 2025 Board of Select Persons meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Happy first day of fall, and happy Rosh Hashanah to those who celebrate as well. I believe that starts tonight, right? Sundown. Thank you to Ms. Fife and your team of folks for a wonderful harvest supper on Saturday evening.
It was darn good, wasn't it?
It was really good food.
But we really need to thank Susan Jackson Rafter
Yes.
and the whole group from
The whole Nottingham Social Club, the Historical Committee, and Celebrate Nottingham.
almost 130 people served.
Fantastic. It was really,
Good community time.
I was there for a couple hours. It was fantastic food. I can't believe how much turkey and pork and how it's just all tasted fresh.
And the price was right.
Yes. Took my wife on a date and it only cost us $20.
No tipping.
All right. We'll start with the manifests.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable for 9/15 and payroll for 9/16.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions?
I just have one question on page 3. Just what the granite engineering was a miscellaneous expense for $2,040.
And we discussed that the last time it came up. I believe it is for the update of the conceptual plan for Marston
Okay,
that they need for the
it's just
Clean
because
Water
it's
State
under,
Revolving Fund.
because it's under miscellaneous and just, I wasn't sure what account that was.
I
So-
think it's in there because we're not quite sure where to post it quite yet.
All right.
So
Thank
there's been a
you.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes for September 8th board meeting.
I have a couple of changes I'd like to go over first.
Absolutely.
Line 37, it says behind Lock Island. That should be behind Log Cabin Island.
Okay, so change lock to log.
Log Cabin. Line 68, it says the F350, but that should be F550. And line 91, new superintendent Andy Corey from the school district. I think we should just change Brookline Hollis because that's where he came from,
right.
but he's from our district now. Or Nottingham, or
I see
from
what you
not
mean.
the Nottingham School
Yep.
District,
Yeah.
or some, is better than, we don't want Brookline Hollis.
No, Nottingham superintendent,
Nottingham, right, Nottingham
and
superintendent,
then Andy Corey, and then just block out from Brooklyn Hollis School District.
something, yeah, anything that references him to be from
Yep.
Nottingham School District. So those are the changes I had. If nobody else has anything, I will
I didn't catch any of this.
make a motion to accept the minutes of 9/8 with those 3 amendments.
You second that?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mashno and abstain.
Motion carries. Reports from committees and departments. Mr. Welch.
Okay. So we'll start off with recreation. Just wanted to make everybody aware of the Legacy Leader monthly luncheons, which happens on the third Wednesday of each month down here at the town hall. So anybody interested, come on down. They wanted me to mention the fall hiking group. So it looks like we missed the first two, 9/5 and 9/19. The next one will be 9/3. They're gonna hike in Mulligan.
10-3.
10/3, I'm sorry. 10/17, they'll be doing the North River. 11/7, they'll be on Canard Forest, and on 11/21, they're gonna hike the town office trails. So anybody interested, all of the hikes are on relatively flat ground. They last about an hour to complete. If you'd like to be added to the email group, please shoot them an email. So this year they're gonna do a pet costume contest. You can send your pictures in to the recreation too at Nottingham-newhampshire.gov with a picture entry, costume name and pet name. They will be accepting entries from October 1st to October 30th. Winners will be picked on Halloween. So they wanted to let us know trick or treat will happen on October 30th, 5 to 7 p.m.
31st.
October 31st.
Halloween's actually on a Friday night.
Right, Friday, October 31st. And then the Halloween Festival, which is Saturday, October 18th from 2:30 to 5:30. A lot of stuff going on, so come on down. We'll have food, we'll have beverages here. New this year will be a trick or treat table down on the trail. So in place of trunk or treat, they're looking for community groups or families to participate in the first ever table trail. So we'll talk about the table trail. Yes. To decorate a table space, hand out candy or a treat, have an activity for them to complete. Any questions, by all means, call the recreation department. Should be a great time. Some of the things happening on that festival. Fire pits, s'mores, spooky walk, prizes for best decorated table. Friends of Recreation gonna have a photo booth, costume contest. This will all benefit the Friends of Recreation. Halloween custom swap shop. So bring an old costume down. You're accepting costumes for all ages, to ensure they're in good condition, clean, and ready for reuse. So a little swap shop for Halloween costumes. And that's happening October 1st through the 28th. Also, they had, let's see, my printer shut down, so let's take a look. A donation match challenge. So for September 21st through October 12th, anybody that's interested in giving a donation to the rec department, Friends of Recreation, I should say. There's a few things they want to happen down at Marston, expanding the parking lot. They're looking at basketball courts, pickleball courts, tennis courts, so you can donate. There'll be matching funds up to $1,000 by an anonymous donor. So anybody interested, by all means, come on down, make a donation. Checks payable to Friends of Nottingham Parks and Recreation. Can mail it in to the PO Box 114, Nottingham, New Hampshire. You can come in and make your donations right in the Recreation Department. So by all means, come on down. So that kind of covers recreation.
I have one question on the costume swap. Are people just bringing them in here?
Yeah, she usually puts out a clothing rack in the foyer, and then you can just drop off. And
Mr. Jecker was looking for a Han Solo costume this year, so that might be your opportunity. So to make sure you had all of the information you needed for your Halloween
Thank
shopping.
you. Just,
Now everyone knows.
Nice. So on
Make sure we don't
recycling
trick or
center, they're looking to get some lights replaced down in the recycling center. Some of the lights are out in the drop-off spots, so hopefully we can get that taken care of. Maybe some fill out back. I know they keep getting stuck with the forklift when they're loading bales of plastic, so I'd like to be a little more solid out there, maybe some reclaimed asphalt
Between
dropped
the-
off down there.
The trailer or down below?
I think both areas. So he has
coming out
mentioned
from
it
the
to Steve.
garage.
Yeah,
he did mention it to Steve. I would hope that would make the most sense.
he just fixed that, didn't he?
I think they added some gravel around where the tin container is,
Mhm.
but I think they may have added more gravel up there, but it's not packed enough. They brought the roller up and it's still just not enough. I mean, that fork truck is awful to navigate on the gravel surface.
So
Especially-
sandy, silty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fork truck. It's not really made for outdoor use, but so be it.
Anything we can reclaim and put to use down there would be great.
Yep. So, like you said earlier, the harvest supper went extremely well. I would ask the Board of Selectmen, Nottingham Celebrate had offered to help them offset the cost of that supper with a donation of $500. So, if with the Board of Selectmen support, we'd like to withdraw $500 from the Celebrate Nottingham Fund to assist in that endeavor.
It's a motion.
Need a
What's
motion?
our,
Yeah.
what's our count balance?
Probably $30,000.
I think that it could be a.
We could handle the $500
I think
withdrawal.
so.
So I'd make a motion to withdraw $500 from that fund.
Okay, I will make a motion to withdraw $500 from the Celebrate Nottingham Fund to support the harvest supper.
Good motion.
I second that.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, perfect. And while I still got the floor, October 5th at 2 p.m., Nottingham Historical Society will be doing a burial ground program up at the Silly Cemetery. This year here, we're going to highlight the Bartlett family, so anybody that's interested, come on up to the Silly Cemetery, October 5th at 2 p.m. We'll have a little presentation on the Bartlett family. So that would be good. Also, one more thing. Sorry I'm taking up so much time.
Your update's longer than
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little crazy this month. So, boat tours, Pawtucket Lake. So Saturday, October 4th at 1 o'clock. We're offering free boat tours at Pawtucket Lake. Over at the state park. Free entry into the state park. It's free boat tours. So just if you want to come down to the dirt parking lot, the first parking lot in the state park, they'll be taking off right next to the park store. So come on down. If you need information, please contact Steve Sorf. You can email him at celebratenottingham@gmail.com or call him at 603-895-6120. It should be a great tour of the lake. Hopefully you can get a little history on Pawtucket Lake and enjoy your time out on the water. So, with that being said, I think I'm done.
Thank you.
Finally.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Mr. Decker.
All right, so we had planning board on September 10th. Kevin Bassett recommended that we look to execute agreements with landowners on other narrow roads to do maintenance similar to what we did with his road, just to make sure that we had permission appropriately and stuff like that. So it was his recommendation to do that. Also, September 25th, which is Thursday, I believe, there is a housing discussion at UNH from 4 to 5:30. I will be attending that. It's through Stratford Regional Planning. So people are invited. There is a sign up if somebody wants to go to that. Meeting this Wednesday is our next meeting. We did work additionally on some of the legislative stuff because we had no cases. CIP met last Monday. We went over a bunch of changes, specifically mostly on the request form. Did a bunch of updates to that, and we do have meetings scheduled for this Friday at 8 and next Monday at 5:30, trying to schedule in department heads to hear their CIP portion items. The facilities committee met last week, but I'll let Charlotte talk to that if she wants, unless you want me to.
Sure. No, I'm happy to.
Okay. And that, I'll yield back my time.
Master planning was supposed to meet last week and we did not end up meeting. We don't have one scheduled as of now, but I'm sure we'll have a meeting in a couple of weeks. Just a reminder, November 8th from 9 to noon will be our workshop for the housing and natural resource chapter, getting feedback from the community and breaking out into smaller groups to educate folks about some of the things that, or not educate them, learn more from the community about their concerns when it comes to housing and natural resources in the community. So that'll be here at the community center. More details to come.
Yeah, Ellen's got some of this written down,
Feel
but,
free to take the floor. I can delete it from mine.
all right, sounds good. So the highway department, the Stevens Hill, the first 8/10 of a mile is finally paved. So hopefully that is no longer a safety hazard in the springtime when we go through the thaw. Smoke Street, the portions, Smoke Street's considered complete in terms of what they've patched, and they fixed the 100-foot section on Francesca. They haven't heard about Deerfield and or Lucas Pond. For when that next part's gonna be. Stevens Hill's not incomplete in terms of it's edging, but that'll probably be once they finish up Deerfield, they'll edge it all at once. The new used F-550 is at the highway department. It's going in to get its plow put on, and then 2 weeks after that, we'll get the wrap put on it to color green. I think Steve said he was gonna add some additional lights just to make it stand up like its previous job. I think it just had rear lights. He wants to get some higher ones up just for when they're plowing. And I believe the aforementioned grader is completed, but it is not shipped yet. I believe we're still waiting a ship date in the next, it said it was supposed to be before the end of the month, so the next, I think it's at a port waiting to be put on a ship, but he goes, I have no idea how long it takes for the lead time to get that over here. So they've been out doing some fall grading. I think Guile Road was just completed. They were on Saks Road and doing some stuff over there. I think some culvert repairs, and they're gonna just keep working on the fall final grading. He says that the magnesium chloride has helped a lot on certain roads like Ledge Farm in terms of wearability. Also, the complete lack of rain for making potholes is made a pretty big significant difference. So seems like things are going on well there.
Did we have a price on the wrap? How much did it cost to wrap? Or
I think they estimated about $2,000. I know Steve was gonna take it over last Thursday to have them evaluate it. They just really wanted to look at the condition of the body and make sure that they weren't gonna be encapsulating any rust areas, just given the age, so I don't believe he, updated, so.
Okay.
And that was just to do the exterior, it wouldn't be doing like the interior door jams or under the hood or anything, that doesn't really matter.
No, God, no. We're gonna have it for a couple of years, so.
Right, which is why I wouldn't even wrap it, but that's me.
Yeah, just trying to keep a color coordination. If you see a green truck, you roughly know. If you start seeing other stuff, you could confuse it with a contractor or whatever. That was it for the highway department.
Okay. Police department, the chief has submitted her first budget worksheet for us to look at. The new Explorer for the police department is being wrapped as we speak, and hopefully we'll make it here before the end of the month. That's my hope. And the F-150, then we'll be going in next to Ossipee. They've been quite busy. I believe the fly problem has been resolved. Oh, you're looking at me.
I haven't
Maybe
heard
not,
of
no,
any-
okay.
I haven't heard of any updates as of the department head meeting last week, they were still present, so.
Oh, okay, perhaps maybe it was just the cold weather the last couple of nights, but hopefully that's being resolved. Nothing was found that would cause the flies to be there, but they're there. And that's really all I have from the police department. Going on to the facilities committee, we do have a working facilities committee, which is regrouped. We met for the first time,
Wednesday.
seems so long ago now. Wednesday the 17th, thank you very much, at 5:30. Our chair is Gary Anderson, myself, John Decker, Karen Gilbert, and Eric Danis, who was absent for that meeting, met. We spent most of the time going over the history of the facilities assessment committee. We agreed to look at past recommendations and make a list of the jobs that had actually been accomplished. And actually, as we started to review them, we've done a lot in this town over the last couple of years. It's quite encouraging. We'll be meeting the second Thursday of each month at 5:30, and the next meeting will be October 9th. Public is always invited. And we're hoping to get back to work. If anyone wants to read the original report, the group presented it to the select board in September, 2 years ago exactly, September 23rd. And that report can be found on the Town of Nottingham website under Facilities Assessment Committee. And that is all.
Great, thank you. On to you, Ellen.
I'll do as much as I can if we need to break for our 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Happy to recess. Thank you for cutting out on most of my announcements. So the recycling center, this is just a reminder, we won't be meeting until after the transition, but they will begin their winter hours, which will be Thursday to Sunday, 9 to 5. And that starts on Thursday, October 2nd. And that will go through until spring. There is a statewide ban on all open fires and smoking in or near wooded areas. And that was signed by Governor Ayotte, and it's across the state of New Hampshire, so.
And Dee said that she saw Dave going from campsite to campsite, telling them that they couldn't have fires.
It's amazing how oblivious some people are to it, just thinking, oh, well, I'm in a campground or it's a small pit.
Well, they're usually excluded.
Yes,
I thought it was excluded.
Well, they are,
Yeah.
but
Usually.
this
but this ban.
This
it
ban
doesn't exclude them.
came,
yeah.
right, included the state parks.
Group, category ones were excluded.
Yeah, in campgrounds. but
In
maybe the state park-
campgrounds
maybe
with
the
a
state
steel
parks.
ring.
Right, but for this ban, they have been included to be banned. No fires in the state parks. Yes,
No, the state parks, I'm saying, but campgrounds, it says right on the list, the exclusion is campgrounds that have
Oh. Well, that's
an
confusing.
enclosed ring for the fire, as long as they have
So
the
is
permit
state park
on file
is
with the
also
state.
a-
But maybe the state parks. they
the
decided
state
to-
parks have those steel rings.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you read the,
There is an exclusion. And the only other exclusion was fire training that already had a previously, or had a accepted fire
Category
training.
1 campfires contained within fire restrictive rings at public or private campgrounds that have permanent staff on site, provided that a permit for each Category 1 fire is obtained from the Division of Forest and Lands prior to burning.
It's a very small
For each
thing.
for each fire. They need a permit for each fire pit, it sounds like.
That is what it sounds like.
I think they get one.
Whatever, keep going.
Either way.
Sorry, didn't mean to distract you.
Oh, no, it's good.
Hopefully
More
I'll see the end
information,
of
the
this
better.
week.
So that went into effect today. I did put out an urgent alert on the town's website just to get it out there, and anybody that is subscribed to the electronic notification should have received an email as well. I just want to touch on that too. There is a provision on the website where you can subscribe to get certain updates, news and announcements, or urgent alerts, agendas and minutes. For whatever reason, it's a setting that you have to click off every single time you post something new. So I'm just trying to get back into the regimen of doing that so people are getting the proper notifications. The supervisors of the checklist will be holding a session this Thursday, September 26th from 10 to noon. And that's for new voter registration and checklist corrections, and that'll be here at the town office. And I did get the, I've been awaiting some type of a blurb or what have you for the Household Hazardous Waste Day. So that's going to be held on Saturday, October 18th from 8 to noon. It's across the street from the safety complex in Raymond. Accepted items will be oil-based paints, pesticides, fertilizer, brake fluid, pool chemicals, and examples of items that they won't accept would be motor oil, latex paint, medical waste, ammunition, fire extinguishers. Most of those items are able to be disposed of at the recycling center.
And that was canceled last year, correct?
That it was. So what ended up happening was we had one in the spring because the fall one from the prior year was delayed, or something happened with a double booking from the agency. So they did one in the spring and the fall one was foregone. So this will be the first one for a while. So 4 hours to take care of it.
No, I have a quick question. Does our recycling center take medical waste?
No,
No, I didn't think so. Okay.
I said most, not all.
Okay. No, it's all right, just check.
And a bullet item that I forgot to add on here is just that I will be putting out the heating fuel oil and propane supply for bid. We typically advertise that for the bids to be due around the end of October. Our contract usually runs from November 1st to, I think it's November 1st, October 30th, or September 30th. I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me, but that will be advertised on the town website. I usually distribute it to all the vendors that have bid on it in the past, and on the website through New Hampshire Municipal, wherever we can get it out there. We've got very competitive bidding over the past couple of years from Irving Oil, so that's been our supplier. Eversource reached out. They've identified several trees along Route 4, some located on town property, namely map 5 lot 3. It's a vacant parcel, and it poses a risk of obstructing their power lines, so they're looking for permission to cut those. So I'm looking for a decision on whether to proceed with the removal and to authorize the provided vegetation management tree removal form that they've supplied.
Absolutely.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to allow Eversource to make the appropriate cutting on the town property on Route 4, map 5, lot 3.
Or any other place they deem necessary.
Within town properties.
Within town property.
I'll second that
In
motion.
that jurisdiction.
In a motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And the other thing that I just wanted to make sure that we were clear to move forward with, I had announced to the department heads during our meeting last week that we were going to be starting the budget presentations at the end of October. So I have those queued onto your agenda for October 22nd. Because there are some larger departments, it takes more than one night, and I didn't want to lapse them over to your first meeting in November, because I often find that you're getting a first look at the budget and then there isn't really a whole lot of time to like go back over, answer any questions, formulate questions, and figure out if there's any areas for suggested reductions before the budget committee gets a hold of it. So to push things forward, I was hoping that I could schedule an additional meeting in October, which would be that next week on October 20. I'm sorry, it was October 20th. Are my dates right? I don't think my dates are right. Yes, October 20th is the second regularly scheduled meeting for October.
Right.
And then the next one will be October 27th. So as long as I can at least get a quorum of you available. I'd like to pose it off to the various departments and see which day would be more flexible. I'd like to just reserve the 27th for budget presentations only, so you can take care of general business as you would, and
Right.
we have to overlap.
That's fine.
Works for me.
You gave us a heads up on that last time.
Okay, so I will move forward with making sure that additional meeting is advertised just for that purpose.
Okay. And we've got 7 o'clock.
Pause.
7 o'clock.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez?
Just a little bit brief tonight. This is a shovel, I'm gonna talk about dumping of salt on West Lane and East Lane tonight. I used this shovel and I made one pass on the 20-foot width of East Lane. I filled it more than 2 inches deep because of salt dumping on East Lane. This was back in March of 23. On May 13th of 23, the town posted a low salt area for Kelsey Road. And I haven't seen anything that's been low salt lately at all. Also, I think Ellen can confirm that she's directed the town director, the town highway fellow, Steve Rollins, 2 parts sand, 1 part salt.
I would like to just clarify, I did not direct him. That was at his own device as the public works director. I don't know what the appropriate mix for sand and salt
The
mixture
appropriate
is.
mix is, according to the snowflow program, is 250 pounds per linear lane mile.
And
We
that's
are,
it.
we are in the snow probe.
Are you not?
We are not. It's a volunteer program. We don't currently have any staff that's certified.
Right. This is some of the road salt and the Fisher snowplow. They tell you that the sanders will throw sand 40 feet wide. Salt is a bigger particle, it goes further. My well's about 25 feet from my property line. And I've been telling them for years now, don't salt my road. And the charts that you might have on the road salt that I've had tested are way over the limits back in 2023. Over 350, 370, I think was the highest level. But that's before I found out what was going on. Because all of a sudden my fruit trees are dying, I can't grow plants. I had a real problem. So I was developing with the state what the hell's going on. And, but anyway, bottom line is it's supposed to be 250 pounds per linear lane mile. This is 3 ounces of salt, not counting the can. And that would cover 4 feet on a pass. And that would include the sand, so it'd be an awful lot, according to Steve's comments. If he was using 2 parts salt and sand, there's never any sand on my road these days. And I still have yet to find anybody that likes the way the town has been lightened with all this salt. It's been done to us. In addition, I've got a slight plumbing problem. I've also replaced 2 hot water heaters. I've replaced a dishwasher, a refrigerator, because I got problems with the water system, because of the salt. And we've got problems at Kelsey Road because of the salt. It looks like the steel pieces down there are failing. That's why they posted it and narrowed the road down, I believe. But anyway, there's a problem with the plumbing as well. Okay, with the March 13th, or May 13th designation of low salt area on, see, was it 24th? No, March 11th, 2024. Steve Rollins was in charge of dumping, or in charge of the department. He actually put down, his guy come in at 1:43 in the evening, at night, the day that the time changed over. I heard his truck backing down because I was watching late night TV. What the hell's going on? I have a 70-foot house that I have to walk down. By the time I walked down my 70 feet, he still hadn't made my driveway, which is 200 feet from the main road. He was going down so slowly at full auger, and he was dumping terribly. And so what I've done, I had several tests done through the state on my salt, and it went up 80 points. I thought it was a little bit more than that we did prior to the testing. It's actually 80 points according to the state. So he's been poisoning my well, and I'm not happy about it. They have to see him replaced. The same way we replaced another guy that named Sean McLean, who had an anger management issue, and even his chainsaw situation didn't get him in trouble. It took a long time for you guys to get rid of him, but he was a real beauty.
He resigned.
I hope so. He's working for Rochester now.
But the town did not terminate him, he resigned from his position. I just want to be clear.
Okay,
We didn't terminate.
No.
but he was not a good guy to work with. He bought 5,000 yards, tons of salt in 2020 and 2023. But I think that's 4 years he's been in this time. And 5,000 tons of salt, a lot of salt for 45 miles of road. Because that's the note that Alan gave me a while back. So anyway, coming down my road at 3 miles an hour, that's a 600-foot street, dumping salt in the rain, and doing it at 1:43 in the morning when nobody's supposed to be up. Even my neighbor woke up, Jay Stevens, and because we were making so much noise going by our house at that time of the morning with sand, with salt, no sand. So that was the second dumping incident that we run into. The third dumping incident was this past year in March. The Farrell Company came whipping by my street at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm on my computer, and there's this snowball. I know there was salt coming out of his truck like there's no tomorrow. I took my camera, walked up on the street, and it was in the rain too. So I went up, took my camera, I'm waiting for him to come back and do it again. No, he went back to his barn. He's off of 150, I think 155 over in Lee. So what was he doing? I mean, not even on the contract in 2025 to work in the town. So what's he doing dumping salt on our road in the low salt area, just being vindictive and being, not nice about things. And who's controlling him? Can't tell. So that was the third dumping situation that has really gotten my dollar. We've got 11 residents that are also looking at this as a situation, what they did to our house. We've got at least 3 that are over 200 with no grades. So we don't have a happy situation with the highway department at this point, being addictive, grossly negligent, and malicious. So this is what I'd like to present, let you be aware that this is happening, has happened. So there's no sand being put down. I would like to have no service at all. It's 6 inches of snow with a one-wheel drive car, my summer tires, I go anywhere I want. I've got a 4.5 degree incline coming out of East Lane. So I've only put 2 million miles. I've been a salesman on the road for many years, so I can drive in snow. I think that's enough for tonight. I'll probably meet with you again because I'm still doing some investigating on things that I don't like about the town pit. I think Colette, what's the word of that?
Charlotte,
Charlotte?
that's right.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Because I talked to Alan about going in and seeing who's in the town, and the Deerfield sand and gravel trucks are going in and out of there. We have 4 big trucks. What's going on? So that was one of the questions I have to deal with you next week, or maybe even this week. Because we have 4 big, nice trucks. Why are we paying Deerfield sand and gravel? Like he's running 2 departments out of our pit, and it doesn't sit well with me. So I think what I'd like to see, I'd like to have him resign. For failure to adhere by the rules. I don't care what kind of job he's done. He has just been after us, and he's making taxpayers not very happy because of his actions, especially the malicious dumping. So that's all I have for tonight. And I'll probably check you back after I've done some more investigating at the town. Also want to check with you. My access to the town pit, I will not go beyond the gate because that's town property.
Absolutely, and that has been clear from the beginning.
Right. But the access road coming in, David owns, and then Steve owns the last 400 feet.
Correct.
Do you want me to get a letter from David?
That's up to you and to them. I mean, the
Do you have
town has an easement to pass over those properties. I cannot give you as a
No,
landowner.
I'm not. I talked to the owners. Because I got stopped the other day with the police department and you signed it off.
But you were inside the pit where you were told
I'm
not
inside
to
the
be.
pit. If you look at the body cam, they asked me, who owns this property? And I told them, David Fernald. And this is about 200 feet in, because I saw the dust going down the road. I said, I wonder if Deerfield's in there again. So I drove in, and the police put the blue lights on and so forth. I wasn't more than 200 feet in that road. If you look at the video, it'll show that I told him David Fernald owns this. This is not town property. And I will not go across that gate, because I know that you directed that. But I'd like to find out, why is he in there, doing all the work? And using his trucks to haul things, when we have our own team? He's running 2 teams.
I can answer that. The town of Nottingham purchases aggregate materials from the Deerfield Sand and Gravel.
Okay,
What we do is we check the gravel pricing, both at Concord, Sand and Gravel, through Brock's. And as long as we're within competitive pricing, then Steve, as the highway director or public works director or road agent,
So
whichever
they-
title
they-
you would like to give him,
they deliver to us.
correct?
Okay.
Sometimes that has to happen because it's a 4-person crew, so if they're out working a job and they need materials, sometimes they can't often stop what they're doing to go get materials. It only makes sense to have it delivered.
Okay, and one of the other things, I like to stop and park at the end of the 91, off of the highway, off of the road, and not on the driveway. And one of the Deerfield trucks came out of there, and he was blowing hard. He had black smoke coming up that wouldn't quit. And I don't know what he had in the truck, but he would drive right, because I followed him back to his, to Route 43. Too many funny things are happening. I'm not happy about that either. And years ago, Johnny and I had an agreement. I dumped my rocks and my masonry stuff in the pit, gave me a place to put it, no problem. So I've always thought that I had access to that pit, especially being a long time, but not anymore, not as of 2021, or 2001. But anyway,
I don't know how long that policy's been in place. I think there's a copy of it there somewhere.
So I was gonna call it,
Access.
yeah, June 6th, 2005.
2005.
Okay. But it's always been an open pit. When Johnny had it,
Not for the last 20 years.
when Johnny had it, there were probably 3 or 4 acres of, the sand that was being taken out.
Now, Johnny didn't own the pit, the town owned the
Right,
pit.
right,
He was just the road agent.
right.
So
But
he may have given you permission during that time. I don't know whether he had the authority to do so.
Whatever, it was just something that, where do I throw my rocks? Because when they closed off the backside of the dump, that's where all the junk used to go. Until when we had a fire in there, and the flames were up 200 feet, and Gary chased us, we're just gonna watch this one. And we did.
And Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
I want to assure you that on Thursday, when the police chief came to me to have me sign the trespass order, I had no reason to disbelieve her. I think she's well acquainted with the pit, and as you may be aware, they were doing firearms training at that time. Very dangerous time for anyone. in that area. That's, they are if you're shot by one. And so I think you can understand why I would sign that. I hope you can. It's a dangerous situation.
I was not even close to being near that gate.
Well, I had no reason to disbelieve the chief of police.
If you see the video, even though number one, I told him where I was, and it'll show you that I'm on the access road. And secondly, that he knew it was, I told him it was David's Colonel's property. So, a little bit of a misunderstanding there.
Perhaps so.
They're thinking that the entranceway all the way is guarded, but it's not.
I
understand. And I haven't seen anything to the contrary, but I think to see going past the gate. I'm not gonna go past that gate. That's where it's gonna park this fence. But I just wanna find out who's going in there, why are they going in there? I drove in there one day, probably 6 months ago. There's a private car in there. Wasn't a police car. He's filling up with gas. Okay, that's what kind of kicks my admiration on it. Is this a free perk that everybody gets? And even now, the lock on the gate is a combination lock. So that means if you know the combination, go for it. So I hope the police are gonna start monitoring that pit. So that's why I wanna get the gasoline out of there. And also I wanna find out, is that diesel, is that off-road diesel with the red stuff in it?
No,
It's regular taxable diesel?
it is.
Okay.
And both fuel cubes require a key, which are only given to the three departments that use them, whether it's the police department, the highway department, or the fire department.
Fire department uses Northwood exclusively.
We do understand that, or it depends on where they are. It could be wherever they're dispatched to.
They don't wanna get the trucks dirty going with that.
That's fine. The police department uses it primarily for their fuel,
Yes.
and it's because we're paying just over rack price,
Yeah.
so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
And the highway department is primarily using it.
Okay, but it seems that there's more than the police department. Police cars using it. That's why I was hoping we talk about families. The other thing I'd like to bring up in this meeting, next meeting, is Quatrix, is a company that has trackers. And they run about $12 a month per car, per vehicle. It'll tell you what route something went on, how fast it was going, all the little details. This GPS, sensory system. And if they try to disconnect it, it sets off an alarm. Go back to the main computers. And it can be put on anybody's computer. So if you get into this Quatrix system, it's probably gonna be $2,500 a year to cover every vehicle. Because my concern is to take a brand new grader, take it out of town on the weekend, why got a big field to plow? And it comes back. I don't trust the integrity of Mr. Steve Rollins is zero as far as I'm concerned. That means he can't be trusted as far as you throw him. After he does what he does, that's all my road. So with that being in mind, this is where I'm coming from.
Okay,
Gentlemen, thank you very much, and ladies.
Thank you.
have a good evening.
Sample of salt that you took. We'll say that. Salt. Okay,
It was on my street.
and it isn't from any of our, you wouldn't buy salt that size.
Yeah, it didn't look like normal road
Yeah,
salt from
that's not.
our,
Well, the problem is, he kicks it up my driveway so far that it stays there.
yeah, it's, yeah.
And those are some chunks.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that would look like,
And not a salt business.
I mean, more like this stuff, this is like.
That's what I'd like to see.
what you
But I'd
normally
also like to
would
see it at 250 pounds with sand, for really lay mile, which is very, very little, just like 152.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks.
good evening.
Gentlemen, did you want to finish up with your report?
Sure. The Board of Selectmen public comment correspondence received since your last meeting. We did receive an email from Jean Reed on September 14th. It was a 91A right to know request regarding the recent truck accident and the replacement purchase. I have provided response already with all the available information fulfilled, and there's no further action required. There was an email from Kelly Delaire dated 9/17/2025 questioning whether grading on Stevens Hill Road was going to take place before the paving this past Saturday. That was forwarded to the Public Works Director for action and response. John Decker emailed us on 9/21/2025 to give us an update on the Milfoil and Pawtuckaway Lake situation is high alert. That information has been well circulated by PLIA, and they will be presenting to the select board at your next meeting on October 6th on the status with, I'm assuming, kind of the video footage as they normally present, so stay tuned for that one. The other general mail and correspondence we received on behalf of Executive Counselor John Stephen, District 4. Katie Bean, his assistant, provided an update as of 9/17/2025 as of what's going on at the state level. I received an email from Robin Como 9/17/2025 regarding Stevens Hill Road. This is follow-up to previous correspondence that we have been going back and forth on. I do still have to provide a response to her on that. An email from Megan Taylor Fetter at the Stratford Regional Planning Commission, also on 9/17, just informing us that the town of Nottingham, as a dues-paying member, has 2 commissioner seats available to represent the town of Nottingham. One of them is currently filled, but we do have a vacancy if there's anybody out there that's interested in fulfilling that.
Is it usually somebody from the planning board?
Usually,
Typically, yes.
But only one person stepped up.
I'm trying to think, I
It's-
believe it's Glenn Griswold is
That's it,
presently
2
one
years
of
ago.
them.
Okay.
So Teresa Bascom was the other one, and she stepped down from the planning board. I also received an email from Neil Santos, from PLIA 9/8/2025, and it was regarding the invasive species fund and, the milfoil status. So again, I've scheduled that for your next meeting on October 6th. And Mr. Gonzalez dated 9/8/2025, actually received in hand on the 15th, conflict of interest. This was a scheduled discussion for this evening, we just heard, so that is it. Other than that, I do have a few non-public discussions for later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To assessing. We have one intent to cut.
Can make a motion to approve the intent to cut map 64 lot 1A.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Missed a vote, Matt. Do you wanna chime in?
Intent to cut.
The intent to cut.
I agree.
All in favor?
Sorry about that. Seems good, got some trees, make some money.
And Ellen, you can just sign the vegetation removal request for Eversource.
If you would like me to. You can be the property owner, Tim.
The budget for 2026. Have you had your first meeting, Charlotte, the committee?
Yes. Been so many meetings, sorry.
That's okay.
We have indeed, and it was a short meeting with introductions. We went over the dates that we're meeting, and we've got a full house. Everyone was in attendance, including Susan Levinson from the school. We'll start real work this next month in October.
How long was the meeting?
An hour, I think. Maybe,
Wow.
hour and
That's
17
what I had
minutes
for
at the
breakfast
most.
this morning, I don't remember.
It wasn't very long.
I believe it was about that, right?
Owen
Yeah.
runs a very
Yeah.
tight ship.
Yes.
Owen,
Very
And that
good.
was just recently.
yes, that was.
I believe so, yeah.
It was on 9/11.
Thank you.
The whole week is just blending for you.
It just has been a week.
I don't need to sign this one off.
So Ellen provided us with a 2026 worksheet for the operating budget and then also a separate library.
Yes,
They're
yep,
separate.
the library is more broken down. We just get the appropriations and the salaries on the operating budget form. But they give a very thorough breakdown that I thought was important. I did email this over to you this evening. I started to plug in some of the other items, but there is still a lot in limbo. I couldn't really go too far on the government buildings until we get the fuel oil pricing, and still working through the phone, the internet, the electricity end of it. So I was able to get rid of, for the most part, the executive office. The assessing. What else? We have the police department, the fire department, the recreation department. I did talk with Steve this afternoon, and just while they were prepping for the paving to take place, he just did not get his budget squared away in time for this evening's meeting, so the highway department and recycling center are also missing. And then we'll be tying in some of the smaller budgets like the election, the town clerk, finance. Personal administration is gonna come last once we figure out where we're at with insurance costs and all the personnel salaries. So,
How close are we?
how close are we?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of departments are varying. Some are only proposing a 3% increase. Other ones It's either a matter of rolling items that were part of a warrant article back into the operating budget or vice versa. And other departments are looking for increased staff levels, so what I really wanted to give you the opportunity for is to just start looking at some of the larger departments, forming your questions, so when the department heads come in and give their presentations, we can be, rather than just shooting off the hip.
Right.
So I did put under the notes section, as you carry forward the yellow column totals, I did put the percentage of increase for the ones that have been figured in there. So like starting on page 1 under the executive office, it's proposed at a 5.89% increase. Part of that is I did add in $10,000, and I don't know if that's sufficient for the newsletter for the upcoming year, and it will be offsetting revenue, but that was a warrant article this year, and we had to, I assume that it's gonna go back in the operating budget.
So as an offsetting warrant article,
Not
should-
offsetting
no.
warrant article,
Offsetting
offsetting revenue.
sorry.
So we
But it
received
was- but
donations
sorry,
and-
but, I mean, it was a warrant article.
It was a warrant article,
I
so
don't-
that's,
I don't know why I said offsetting.
so that's a,
So,
so,
As-
yeah, so of
Shouldn't we
the,
put the 10,000 there?
Because it wasn't in the operating budget though.
Right, I know, but
it's either that or
it's
it goes
gonna
on a
show
separate warrant
the
article again.
increase.
I think he's saying,
To show
Put
that
the
the
2025
correct
in here.
increase, that 10,000 should be in that section of the operating budget. Maybe we put it as, you know, like an asterisk or something, you know, this was a warrant article.
Well, that's my intention, that's why I
Well,
added
yeah.
it to the
Yeah.
notes.
Offsetting revenue, thank you.
but I mean, technically speaking, you wouldn't put it in, if it was a warrant article for 2025, you wouldn't put it in the operating budget, the expense.
He was just saying to minimize the
The-
percent increase looking at, cause.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
Right,
So,
the
so
expense
technically, like, the
itself gets put
expense is
in.
already put, yeah. The expense is on a separate warrant article, it's in the 4,900 account codes.
Right.
But unless the intention is to put it back as a separate warrant article again for 2026,
For 2026, I'm clear on that. I'm just saying for 2025, you wouldn't put the $10,000 in this operating budget, right? Would
correct,
you?
no, it's not in there.
I'm just trying to show it from a budgeting.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
You know, the percent increase from a budgeting perspective isn't 5.89%.
Exactly.
It's less than that because there should be $10,000 more on the approved side of 2025 because of that warrant
Yeah.
article.
And that'll come down to the very end when you're doing the tax cap calculation, but.
So maybe if we put another column.
Yeah, or something, yeah. I hate adding columns, but I'm just trying to make.
I understand what you're saying, I just don't think you can put it in there.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be in the approved part, but
Maybe
it
it's a
kind of,
note.
from a budgeting perspective, it needs to be considered in the approved part. Because it was approved for the 25 year,
Right.
but under a separate category.
Right.
Which in the reverse, if you move forward and look at the assessing end, we added $20,000 to the operating budget to finish the revaluation, because we didn't have that to finish this year in the capital reserve fund. But next year, we're gonna have to start rebuilding that capital reserve fund again, so it's probably gonna be a separate warrant article. So that one in particular, you'll see that there's like a 27.62% reduction
Mhm.
by shifting that
Yeah.
amount over. So it is, hopefully in the end, when we're looking at the bottom line, as long as we're not.
A lot of massaging.
two. The planning, the dues, the new membership, this Stratford Regional.
Stratford Regional, so their fiscal year, so we're technically covered up through June 30th of 26. We won't know what, we can put an estimate in there for next year. It's based on assessed value, and I can't remember what the calculation was. I'd have to look back at it.
Sorry, maybe I missed it too. We're almost at the end of a quarter, so then
Correct.
in October we'll do.
The third quarter review.
Sure. Was a month ahead of myself. Okay. So,
Fire will be interesting.
fire has good notes with it, police, I'm not seeing anything. So does she have, is she pretty much line,
She's
no
very
real
straightforward.
changes? and-
Other than the increase for prosecution services, and she built in a merit pay increase into the salary line rather than having it come from the merit compensation pool. I think we had also done that in 25's budget. Yeah, she's looking at a 3.32%. Most of the rest of it is level funded.
Alright, and then she still got a cruiser line. If we change the stuff in fire, is that a warrant article?
That's how we've done it in the past.
That was a complete restructure. So I don't know if that's the same thing where this is like,
I like, my personal preference, if we're hiring staff, you know, we're spending funds to hire
Adding positions.
additional staff, it being in a warrant article makes a lot of sense because it tells the town, it allows the town to make that decision.
In the past two times, in the past 6 years, right,
Yeah, when
they
they
were
went
warned.
from
that will just change how this is going to look if that is true,
Right.
right? Because that, we're gonna pull all of the stuff that they're referring to out, it's gonna be its own separate thing. So there'll be the budget as is, then there'll be another one for the
Full-time.
for the
additional
increase,
full-time.
if we need to
But
increase
yeah, I
stuff.
mean, it's appropriate to pull together as a budget this way initially.
Year, but right, we're gonna have to start thinking the warrants and stuff, cause
Yeah.
how it's gonna all. Yeah. And then what was the, trying to remember the changes that were coming this year for any of that, there's just changes if you go over the tax cap, which we're not aiming to do, but I'm saying that's the only real change for the state
It has to
budgeting
be a
process.
three-fifths.
It has to be 3/5 majority, or it differs back to the 4%.
Okay. But that was the change this year.
So. But that has to come through deliberative session?
So it would change if it was over the 4% recommended by the budget committee, if that amount of percentage increased at deliberative session, in order for it to carry forward, the ballot has to receive 3/5 majority, or it would just revert back to the 4% if it doesn't.
For the
So even though
straight-
deliberative session is the only way to override the tax cap can't be overridden without the majority.
Yeah.
Is that just the operating budget, 3/5?
No, that's per, they did clarify that the tax cap includes,
Correct, the warrants.
Which the operating budget is a warrant.
Right.
Yes, I'm just trying to think, so how does that play out? Let's say like you make it all the way down through and you have one warrant article that just ticks you over, like
Well,
every
yeah,
line
I
item
think
has
it
to
would
be
the one that
3/5?
it's the one that they changed at the deliberative session that put it over the 4% cap. That's the one that
whether
would
it be
have to
the
get the
individual
3/5
article or the operating budget's one article.
articles if they did multiple articles.
So it's
Just
the one
trying
that
to
they
get the
changed.
questions
Yeah.
out there and talking about it early so that we're not, and I don't wanna jump over the thing, that's not what I'm looking to do. I just wanna know the implications of
So
how we
like,
get
yeah,
through things or what we plan on. Nothing big coming CIP wise.
so
It's kind
like
of
if
hard
it was a
hard
petition
to
warrant article, that would be,
If it's a petition warrant article, it has to go on there regardless, most of the time.
right, but if that's what
Because
said
of the timing,
it's.
most of the time it comes onto the budget committee is not recommended because they've already
gonna put it over.
finalized.
Well, if it puts it over, I mean, if that's the thing that puts it over, that would be the thing that.
like yeah, with
If-
the newsletter last year.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Don't look at me.
No, I'm sorry. I will look at you, Charlotte, because you're the one that presented it.
Even though petition warrant articles are due the second Tuesday in January, I encourage people to get them in sooner because who knows, it might take priority standings.
I believe the order that we receive them is generally how we kind of
Correct.
Yeah.
position them and then how they'll get their attention moving on down through the line. Okay,
Well, you have the ability, as you're going through, you have the ability to put them in whichever numerical sequence that you want.
That was first come, first served. Good to know.
You don't wanna wait until everybody's asleep and drooling at the end of deliberative session to hit the $1 million project.
Right.
Not with a tax cap.
When in October, can we get like balances for some of the,
Trust funds?
yeah, the capital
Yeah,
reserve funds?
absolutely. And those are on the website under the trustees of trust funds. As soon as they meet quarterly, so what they normally do is they'll approve the previous quarter's balances, so they're always a quarter in arrears, but those are up and available, and it
Okay.
has the, all the data for what's the balance in the fund, plus any CDs that some of those funds are tied up in.
At least the ALS thing is funded.
Yes, yes, we're very fortunate there.
Nice.
But
I
it is
think we
something that we
definitely-
have to think about.
I know, so,
Going
I mean,
well,
we can
27.
get our costs, what it costs us, so that if it's not, if the generous donor does not fund it for 2027, we're gonna have to build that into the budget.
So I think they're probably going to stay on the same plan. They were gonna be meeting October and then have the final figure to the towns by December for planning purposes. I imagine that will stay the same. That was the plan for this year, and obviously it's not needed, so,
Right. But I think it would be nice to have if they're willing to provide it.
yes. As I get more information, I will update these and send them off to you.
Okay.
Like I said, so you can continue to compile thoughts and questions for the presentations. I will probably reserve the larger departments for the 27th, just because those normally take more time.
Okay. Any questions from anybody?
Let it begin.
Yes.
Let the fun begin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ellen. Action items from prior meetings. We've got the facilities maintenance, we can take that off. It's been acted upon.
Look at that.
Mindle Road,
Very
moving
interesting.
forward slowly.
I thought it was a good answer.
Yeah.
You know, it does give us, it's a lot, but it's pretty clear.
So for clarity, I did reach out to legal,
Mhm.
and they provided an email of what the process would look like as far as timing.
Do we need to have that in non-public?
Yes, in order for you to review it, yes. So we'll be able to update more on that at the next meeting. So we'll keep it on there.
Okay. And then our role in the subdivision process, which I know we briefly talked about at the last meeting. There's only really a couple of pieces that we take part in, one being the bond, performance bond.
And I believe they were looking for feedback by December
First,
December 1st.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
but the sooner we get it in.
right.
Done. One less thing to worry about during budget time.
It just needs to go to Dale.
I'm nagging, yeah, just.
Okay, feedback to
Do-
Dale.
Yeah,
Okay.
and sort of the
Need
time.
any, do you need me to work with you on that, or?
Do I need you to work with me on that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to have some comments to be.
Can you help me with that?
Yes, as we're navigating the projects right now, yes, we
Yeah.
can. I can definitely talk about the points that have been difficult to go through and what needs to be cleaned up. Obviously, the
Do we need-
whole
do we need
subdivision regulation document needs to be updated to incorporate the legislative change from 2 years
But
ago.
when it comes to the select board,
Yes,
Our pieces.
it's,
well, I think
right,
I
So
think the
let's
select
just get it
board
done.
may have taken some of the responsibility maybe where it shouldn't have, because it talks very specifically about planning board or select board, and then in certain areas it just refers to board, so it's like, which board are we talking about?
Okay.
So I think that's where a little bit of cleaning up in that document
Mhm.
will be very helpful. I do agree that you should be the authority of setting the performance bond amount based on the third-party engineer's review.
Yep.
But I also think that you need a little bit more history on, you know, where the project is. It should be part of the approval process when the planning board does their notice of decision, so we should be able to have most of that lined up, cleared up.
Right. Planning board should give us a recommendation.
And tell us that
Yes.
this has been done so that we
Right.
can.
Exactly.
Right, and that's the whole point.
And that was the goal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
This document
it's to-
is to
What comes
put-
first, what comes
Right.
second?
put
yeah.
those steps in place so that,
So we don't have a subdivision that's well beyond the point of requiring a performance bond, selling lots or applying for building permits and not having that in place.
So you get to approve the bonds and the street names. That's kind of fun.
It is.
All right.
yeah, at least the street name should be, is the fun part.
That is the fun part. Let's get to it, right?
Action item.
They've already done most of the work for you. They've already given you a list
Yeah.
of pre-approved
Right.
names that you
Yeah.
can select from.
I think it's just the technicality, and ours is such a small piece, although, yeah, I'd like to know more. They were just talking about the communication was so dysfunctional that.
Yeah.
that would be
Speaking of
more.
that, there is a potential road name that, or.
I thought you were saying, speaking of dysfunctional communication.
Don't read into
Don't
it.
look at.
A road name?
The Lamprey Drive, when they had that section that was incorporated in, it's technically a leg off of Lamprey, and it should be renamed. That was one of the things that Dale brought to my attention from a 911 addressing perspective. So I will dust that off and give that to you. That just triggered the road naming.
Is it,
So that leg needs to mean something other than.
to
Lamprey.
Yeah,
channel?
because,
Oh,
what's that?
Should that be part of channel?
No, because channel stops.
Oh, so you mean that very little tiny leg at the
Yes,
very end?
that little leg, because Lamprey
Yes,
technically comes
okay.
up in a circle and then it's got one little shoot. So whether it becomes an extension or
Lamprette?
No,
something, it should be something different than what
yes,
it is.
that one should be, right, cause it basically, Lamprey V, V's at the very end.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that seemed weird. That didn't get changed, but yes, there would be there's like 2 houses on that.
So I'll make sure I have that information pulled together for you.
Alright, any other action items for our next meeting? We've got an appointment with the PLA, we'll be presenting, and
I'll be missing the October 6th meeting.
yes, sadly. But the good news is, it sounds like you'll be back for the budget presentations, so be well
Thank
prepared for your
goodness.
budget.
Yes.
So with that being said, I will probably add on a review of the investment policy, part of the annual requirement under 41.9. You have to review, re-adopt.
Mhm.
So I will probably add that to your agenda. I think we did it in November of last year, but just where we're gonna be pushing forward with budget, it's maybe easier to do it early.
Sounds good.
Good year.
There being no public here, there's no public comment, unless one of you would like to get up as a member of the public and make a comment.
I already submitted mine.
Yes,
Yes,
you did.
you're a dutiful citizen.
Well, that being said, we do have a non-public to enter into this evening.
We need to motion to.
We do need a motion to move into non-public.
I'll make the motion to move into non-public RSA 91-A:32, A, B, C, E, and L.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call vote, all in favor?
Aye, Steve Welch.
Hi, John Decker.
Aye, Tim DeBrio.
I'm Shirley.
I, Charlotte Fife.
Motion carries. Good evening, Nottingham. We will adjourn open the meeting back up after non-public and adjourn from there. There'll be no more business. Have a great week.